the Impact Builder, Welcome to Mindset, Motivate, Move Monday. Y'all know what we do. Tell me, as I always ask you, how was your weekend? Did you do something fun this weekend? Real quick before I start off and get into our Monday, get into this week, and protect your brand. How was your weekend? I know I had a great weekend. I told y'all Friday I was going to see the NBA Finals this weekend and see if the Knicks could pull it out, and they did. I'm not a Knicks fan. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not a San Antonio fan per se either. But seeing the New York Knicks win the NBA championship was actually phenomenal. Congratulations to those brothers and the great work that they did this weekend to close out the NBA Finals and to become NBA champions in 53 years. Since 1973, y'all, it was when they won the last championship. Now, they went in 99, I think it was, but they lost in the Knicks lost in the finals. That was with Patrick Ewing and I think John Starks and Charles Oakley. I think all of them were part of that 99 team that last lost. But they actually won. And the phenomenal thing, the great thing is the way that the city came together. So y'all New York fans, man, big ups to y'all. Big ups to New York City. Y'all celebrated. Y'all showed what this country needed right now was that kind of energy and that kind of celebration. So I would say much respect to you all and everything that y'all are enjoy it and enjoy the win. I think it's great that the city of New York gets to celebrate. Spike Lee, yeah, he been waiting a long time for this, and I hope they give him a ring. I want them to give him a ring. He has a Hall of Fame ring as a super fan, so I'm hoping that they will give him an honorary ring as a champion, as the NBA champ. That would be so cool and so dope if they did that, because he is for sure a Knicks fan, diehard Knicks fan through and through. So just wanted to celebrate them real quick. Let's hop into what I got for y'all this weekend. The weekend I had to, I'm taking a class, so but this is what it didn't prompt it, but it was actually added to what I wanted to bring to you all this week, what I'm bringing to you all this week, which is the title of this week, or the theme of this week, what we're going to be dealing with this week is protect your brand. And we're going to talk about the legal side of branding. You got the brand, but is it protected? And so this week we're going to talk about 5 legal. I'm not an attorney. First of all, I'm not an attorney, so none of this is legal advice. I'm not giving any of y'all legal advice at all. I'm just giving you some strategies to think about in order to be able to make sure that your brand is protected. So, because here's the thing, everybody, hope y'all can hear me, everybody wants a recognizable brand. Everybody does. Everybody wants a recognizable brand, but very few take the necessary steps to legally own it. You gotta own it. You can spend years building awareness, credibility, and influence only to discover someone else owns the right to the name you've been promoting, that you've been using. The question isn't whether your brand has value. It's not about that, because you're creating the value. The question is, have you legally protected that value? So we're going to be dealing with that all this week. Have you legally protected the value of your brand? Say many entrepreneurs and organizations build brands they don't legally own. So have you built a brand that you don't legally own? Can someone go out here and use your same name and profit off of it? Because here's the thing: competition competitors can imitate you. They can imitate you. They can take your name and just kind of create a shadow off of it and build it up themselves. That's been done. That has been done. Your customers can become confused. They don't know. Hey, is that the real one, or is that the real one? They'll get confused, or can be confused, because they're not sure which one is the legal brand. Your brand equity gets diluted because a lot of folks, because if you have a lot of people using the same name or people using something similar, what happens is the market says, okay, or the market, you'll find the market not really paying attention to you, or it gets caught up, your brand gets caught up in everything else in the market, and then your opportunities are lost. You're leaving money on the table. Why? Because people won't do business with you, or if they do business with you, they're doing it because they might think that you're someone else. And so I want you to think about those things this week. I want you thinking about these things all this week when we talk about protecting your brand. When we talk about brands, the first thing that we're going to talk about today is trademarks. We're going to talk about trademarks. What a trademark is actually protects. It actually protects your name, your logo, and your tagline. So don't. I want you to write that down. So it's more, your trademark protects more than your logo. It's not just the Apple logo. It's not just the McDonald's golden arches. It's the name. It's that logo, and it's the tagline behind it. The tagline that goes, all of that goes together, and that's what your trademark will protect you from. So as we talk about this week, you want to think about these things and look into how do you protect your brand from a trademark standpoint. And you want to get a trademark attorney. I am not an attorney. I'm going to keep saying it all this week. I'm not an attorney. I want you to go see you can go see a trademark attorney, and they can walk you through that process of getting your name, logo, and tagline trademark. You don't want to get caught out there without your name, logo, and your tagline being protected, because you don't want somebody to take advantage of it and know that they have it. So you want to make sure that your name, your logo, and tagline, they matter because it's your identity. It's how you identify it's how your brand is identified. And we talk about identity and purpose. That's knowing who you are. But part of that identity is having having a name, having a logo, and having a tagline, so that you are remembered and you have a place in the marketplace. You have a place in your particular industry. Everyone knows the golden arches. When you see those golden arches, what do you think about? You automatically know it's McDonald's. When you see the swoosh, you know that's Nike. When you see those three stripes, you know that that's Adidas. When you see that M for Marriott, you know it's Marriott. So you want to make sure that when people see, not only they see it, but behind that, there's an identity behind that. That's what you're building when you build your brand. And you want to make sure that what you're building has protection. Some mistakes that entrepreneurs make, and you don't want to make them. And we talked last week about, we talked about being addicted to leadership. Well, here's something from a legal standpoint of not protecting yourself. And you want to make sure that when you trademark, that you're trademarking the name, the logo, tagline, and you want to make sure that when you're talking to the attorney, that they give you all of the different ways of being able to protect your brand from a trademark standpoint, and they'll be able to go into greater detail with you about that. And of course, when you schedule your strategy session with us, we are connected to trademark attorneys and a couple other types of business attorneys that will be able to walk you through that process. We can do that. We have those partnerships with us, partnerships and partnerships that we set up for us, because we know that we deal with companies that and entrepreneurs that need that type of service. So the trademark process, you want to begin it as soon as possible. You don't want to waste time. When you have a name, when you have a logo, when you have a tagline, you want to make sure that as soon as you can, you want to make sure that you don't want to have that out there and give someone the ability to be able to snatch that from you. It's happening, and I don't know if I'm sure y'all are familiar with the company Tiffany and Company, the big that blue turquoise color. Yeah, That's actually a trademark of Tiffany's. You cannot use that color in industry or in the marketplace. They will sue you, and they have sued. I think they've gone to court before over someone using that color, because that color is associated with Tiffany & Company. So you want to make sure that you are protected just like them, and you want to start that process as soon as possible. The cost of waiting too long could be the cost of you losing your brand name, losing your brand logo, losing your brand tagline. And there have been people that have, in court who have lost that battle. And why? Because they did not have it protected, did not have their brand protected. And if the other person can prove that they used that name before you did, they will win in court. Just like if you can prove before that you used the name and there was a creation of the name before they used it legally, then you will win. But it's all about the process. It's all about the time and making sure that you get it done as soon as possible. Because if you wait too long, you could possibly lose your brand name, and you'll have to recreate your brand, your whole essence of your whole identity and everything. So a brand you don't protect is a brand you don't fully own. So until you protect it, you don't fully own it. And you want to make sure this week, all I'm going to say is you want to own it. You must own it. If your brand doubled in value today, here's the last thing I'm going to do. I want y'all to think about this today. This is what I want you to start the process. If your brand doubled in value tomorrow, would you legally own every part of it? And if the answer is no, then you need to begin the process of owning. I want you to work today on owning. Make sure what are the phases or what are the steps that I need to do in order to own my brand, in order to own my name, in order to own my logo, in order to own my tagline. If you don't have a tagline, you want to create a tagline, and then you want to begin protect that tagline, so that once you have it out there, your tagline becomes a part of the identity of your brand. Just the same way with your logo. Same thing with your name. If you're going to use the name, you want to make sure that you protect your name, protect that logo at all costs. I say that all the time. Protect your brand. And that's not just in the trademark sense, and I'm talking about protect your name in the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you do business, because that can harm your name. That can be, then you have negative connotation associated with who you are as a brand. So, I want you thinking about that today. Do you own it? Do you own it? And then what's your process for owning it? So don't forget, you can hop on in the description. There is you can schedule your strategy session. Make that session with us. You can connect with us so that we can have a conversation about your vision. We can have a conversation about your brand and is it protected, making sure that you are entering into the process of protecting your brand. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, the Impact Builder, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. This is what we got for you today. Join us all week. We outside. You can see we outside. We outside today, y'all. We outside. It's nice. It's a great day. Great day out here today. So we'll see you all. We'll be right back here for Talk to Me, Tell the Truth Tuesday. It's the Impact Builder. We out. Peace.